We're on.
Okay, we'll open the meeting at 7:30. Roll call, William Johnson,
Here.
Bill DiOrio,
Here.
Lynn Colligan,
Here.
Tom Graffinino,
Here.
Lisa Kreckler here, and Town Attorney Stephen Kiley.
Here.
Let's review and approve the June 15th, 2022 minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. We have two resolutions tonight. I'm going to start with 6 Serpentine Drive. Coco, can you read for us the resolution?
Sure. This is appeal number 02-2022, application by Joel Asin Living Trust and B. Lichen Living Trust for a variance at 6 Serpentine Drive, Shelter Island Heights, New York. Tax map number 0700-14-1-3, Socorro determination. The Zoning Board of Appeals has reviewed the subject application and visited the subject property and determines that pursuant to Part 617 of the New York Codes, Rules, and Regulations, that this is a type 2 action, thus no further Socorro review is required. Suffolk County Administrative Code. This application was not required to be referred to the Suffolk County Department of Planning under the Suffolk County Administrative Code sections A 14-14 to 23. Property facts and description. The subject property is located on the east side of Serpentine Drive in the AA Residential Zoning District. Said property is presently improved with an existing single-family dwelling, 2-car garage, pool, shed, and other accessory improvements. There is a small hobby vineyard in the front yard, and the property is completely enclosed by an 8-foot cable and metal post fence. Basis of application, request for a variance from Town Code sections 133-29A, 1A, and B, as reflected in the building inspector's denial letter dated December 15, 2021, based on the application for a permit to legalize, quote, as built, unquote, 8-foot cable and metal post fence located in the front, sides, and rear yard of the subject property. Relief requested, the applicants request a variance to legalize as is 8-foot cable and metal post fence located on the property boundaries of 6 Serpentine Drive, Shelter Island Heights, New York, SCM-TM number 700-14-1-3. The as-built 8 cable and metal posts, which surrounds the entire property, is not permitted pursuant to Town Code sections 133-29A, 1A and B, which states that in residence districts, no fence or wall in a front setback area shall have a height greater than 4 feet measured from the ground, and no fence or wall in a rear or side yard shall have a height greater than 6 feet measured from the ground. As the as-built 8-foot cable and metal post fence is located in the front, side, and rear yards of the subject property. Additional information, the applicants allege that they have cultivated grapes for the production of wine from the small hobby vineyard located in the front yard of the subject property. Findings of facts, reasons for board action. The Zoning Board of Appeals held public hearings on this application on March 23rd, 2022 and April 27th, 2022, at which time written and oral evidence were presented. Based upon all testimony, documentation, personal inspection of the property and surrounding neighborhood and other evidence, including letters in support and objection, the zoning board finds the following facts to be true and relevant and makes the following findings. Number 1, Town Law Section 267-B3B1, grant of the variance will produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties, as there are no other 8-foot fences in the neighborhood. And if the 8-foot fence remained, deer would be directed to neighboring properties. Number 2, Town Law Section 269-B3B2, the benefits sought by the applicants can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance because the applicants claim that the necessity of the 8-foot cable and metal post fence is for the protection of the vineyard that is located in the front yard of the subject property. The town code permits as of right, a feasible alternative for just this situation. Section 133-29A5 permits an 8-foot garden fence in the rear yard so long as it encloses no more than 10% of the property and the setback from the side and rear yard lot lines are not less than 8 foot. Therefore, grapes may be grown while being protected so long as they are located in a code compliant location and the property is sufficient in size to accommodate such an alternative. Further, double code compliant fencing, hedges and or netting may be employed to produce the grape protection benefit sought. Number 3, town law section 267-B3B3. The variance requested is mathematically substantial in that an 8-foot fence in the front yard and side and rear would represent 50% and 25% relief from the code respectively. Number 4, town law section 269-B3B4, granting the request variance will have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood in that such a fence will change the natural migratory pattern of deer and other wildlife. Number 5, town law section 269-B3B5. The difficulty was self-created. The applicants purchased the property after the zoning code was in effect, and it is presumed that the applicants had actually or constructively acknowledged of the height limitations on fencing. The resolution of the board is as follows. In considering all of the above factors and applying the balancing test under New York State Town Law 267-B, motion was offered by member
William
We
Johnson.
need to do.
Someone make a motion.
I make a motion, William Johnson.
Seconded by,
Call again, I'll second.
and Dooley, and now you could continue.
and duly 2, deny the request for an area variance to maintain the subject 8-foot fence. Vote of the board.
And we'll do a roll call.
But I still need to ask the people who motioned as well, correct?
Yeah, I would.
William Johnson, how do you vote?
Yes. William Johnson, vote yes.
Tom Graffanino,
Thomas Graffino votes yes.
Lynn Colligan.
Yes.
Phil Diorio. Phil, we can't hear you. You're mute. Coco, do you have to
Phil
unmute?
Diorio votes yes.
Okay. Lisa Kreckler votes yes as well.
And number of nays?
None.
Zero. Okay. This resolution was adopted 5-0, signed by Philip Diorio.
It will be signed, yep.
Will be signed, sorry.
And then we have a second resolution for church at 52 Tuttle Drive. Coco.
Okay.
Sorry.
Need a drink of water first.
We need your voice again.
Okay. Zoning Board of Appeals, number 08-2022, application by Stanley Church for a variance at 52 Tuttle Drive, Shelter Island, New York. Tax map number 0700-12-2-10.4. Socorro determination. The Zoning Board of Appeals has reviewed the subject application and visited the subject property and determines that pursuant to Part 617 of New York Codes, Rules, and Regulations, that this is a type 2 action, thus no further Socorro review is required. Suffolk County Administrative Code, this application was not required to be referred to the Suffolk County Department of Planning. Property facts and description. The subject property is located on the south side of Tut Hill Drive in the AA reverting to a residential zoning district near shore. Said property is presently improved with an existing 2-story single-family dwelling, pool, deck, and other accessory improvements. Of note, the applicant received an area variance in 2020 for a 6-foot front yard variance for a plus minus 263 square foot first floor addition, appeal number 16-2020. The subject request is asking to add an additional 8 square foot area to the previously approved addition. Basis of application. Request for a variance from Town Code Section 133-6B5A and a special permit for bulk intrusion as reflected in the building inspector's denial letter dated March 10th, 2022, based on a building permit application for an additional habitable space. Relief requested. The applicant requests an area variance for a 34, is that inch? Is that? Feet front yard setback where 40 foot is required for the construction of an addition and a special permit for the consequential bulk intrusion located at 6 Serpentine Drive, Shelter Island Heights, New York, tax map number 700-14-1-3. Additional information. The applicant is seeking to construct a 271 square foot first floor addition under a second floor overhang, which said addition would be a plus minus 8 square foot larger than a previously approved first floor addition, appeal number 15-2020, and would not encroach any further into the front yard setbacks than the existing footprint overhang. There was no opposition to the application, and neighbors who would arguably be most impacted came out in support. Findings of fact, reasons for board action. The Zoning Board of Appeals held public hearings on this application on May 25th, 2022, at which time written and oral evidence was presented. Based on all testimony, documentation, personal inspection of the property and surrounding neighborhood, and other evidence, including letters in support and objection, the zoning board finds the following facts to be true and relevant and makes the following findings. Number 1, Town Law Section 269-B3B1, grant of the variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties, as the request is merely being made to balance out the front facade of the building dwelling and will not encroach any further than the historically set footprint. Further, there was no opposition by any neighbors, but in fact support by neighbors who arguably would be most impacted. Number 2, Town Law Section 267-B3B2, the benefits sought by the applicants cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue, other than the area variance, because there is no other possible location for the proposed addition. Number 3, Town Law Section 269-B3B3. The variance request is not substantial in that the historic footprint encroaches further into the front yard setback than what is being requested. Number 4, Town Law Section 267-B-B3B4, granting the requested variance will not have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions. As it is merely adding 8 plus minus square feet to a previously approved plus or minus 263 square feet addition, not consisting of a bedroom, which will be located in the pre-existing footprint. And number 5, Town Law Section 267-B3B5, the difficulty was self-created. Further, the Zoning Board of Appeals has applied the facts of the application to special permit standards enumerated in Section 133-35 of the Town Code and determined that this application meets said standards for approval. The resolution of the board is as follows. In considering all of the above factors and applying the balancing test under New York State Town Law Motion 267-B, motion was offered by member.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Sorry.
Lynn Colligan. Made the motion, seconded by Tom Graffinino.
Duly carried too. Approve the request for an area variance for 34 feet front yard setback where 40 feet is required and a special permit for the consequential bulk intrusion for the new plus minus 270 square foot subject addition as reflected in AMP Architecture LLC site plan and construction plans dated December 23rd, 2021. Further, this approval supersedes appeal number 15-2020. Vote of the board.
I will now bring it to a vote. William Johnson,
William Johnson says yes.
Tom Graffinino,
Tom Graffino votes yes.
Lynn Colligan.
Yes.
Bill DiOrio,
Bill DiOrio votes yes.
Lisa Kreckler votes yes as well. 5 yeses, 0 nays.
Okay, to be signed by Philip Dior.
Thank you, Coco. So we have one application hearing tonight, which is 8 North Brander Parkway. I'm not going to pronounce this last name correctly. Wisniewski. Sorry. Is anybody here to present?
Yes,
I got-
we're here to present.
Okay. Can you state your names for the record, please?
Walter Wisniewski, Wisniewski, and Susan Wisniewski.
Okay. Great. Yep, you have the floor.
You want to go?
Sure. Well, go ahead.
We're seeking a variance for a sports court we put in.
Basketball.
Of asphalt. It was too close to the neighboring property. It's on our property, but it was several feet too close.
So the building department said we needed to get a variance because it's like 5 feet were over. Now, it's still on our property, but it just needs a variance because it's too close to the other property.
Okay, looking at the denial letter, it looks like it will require 16-foot side yard variance.
Or maybe it was more. than that. So the property next to us is vacant. It's a small piece of property. There's
It's been vacant for many, many years.
somebody told us they can't even build on it. I don't know. But we didn't do it for that reason, but it's not encroaching on this property at all.
It's not encroaching on the property, but it's just too close.
And when did you install the basketball court asphalt?
2 years ago?
Yeah, probably about a year and a half ago.
2 summers ago, maybe. We had looked in the bylaws. We didn't think we needed a permit because it said anything involving cement. So like somebody told us they put in an asphalt driveway and they didn't get a permit. And we had seen another basketball court. They said that because it was asphalt, they didn't need it. So we didn't even know that we
We did-
needed to get one.
So the building department said you should have gotten a permit. So we were mistaken. We didn't know we needed one.
May I ask a question? Did you use a local contractor who I presumably should have known the law?
Yeah.
No, it was
No, we
somebody
didn't. It was somebody from Riverhead.
Riverhead, yeah.
Okay,
He didn't know, he didn't say anything to me.
okay, and I mean, and you know, there are no asphalt driveways, new asphalt driveways allowed in the near shore overlay, which was where your house is. That's right? You're in the near shore.
We're on the canal, the lagoon.
Yeah,
Silver Beach Lagoon.
yeah.
But we are a good distance from the water.
Right. And then one other thing, I just say that while the lot next door is vacant, that's not something we can really hang our hat on because we're here to protect not only you, but also,
Right.
any future neighbor you might have. I'd also like to ask, is this court exclusively for basketball or is this something where you could, next thing, you're starting to play pickleball over there or
No,
something?
Our
like that?
grandkids ride their bikes around on it because we had a dirt driveway and we didn't want them riding in the streets. so
It's a
they ride-
basketball court. We have a hoop.
There's a hoop, but it's just asphalt that they they ride the bikes around on. They play on it that way. No, we're not.
It,
putting up a
no, it's
net
not
or
gonna be,
anything,
it's not
or-
gonna be used for anything but shooting basketballs. And my little grandchildren, well, my wife is saying they could ride a bicycle on it, little bike, but it's a basketball hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can't go any closer to the road, to the driveway because it's trees there.
Right,
Or mature trees, oak trees.
right.
They went up to it, but they couldn't go any closer to the driveway, get away from the property line.
Would there be a way to reduce the size? I know it's there. I drove by. Would there be a way to reduce the size to make it less intrusive?
It's one corner.
Just the one.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like on a diagonal.
yeah.
Probably could
Right.
cut it.
Well, I said that, and I was recommended that just apply for a variance. It's something that, they'll the zoning board would understand that, you just apply for a variance and don't cut off the end of it. Otherwise, somebody could trip, somebody could step off the end of it accidentally. If you could cut off a quarter, a little piece of it.
Right.
But if you do, then somebody could, if they're shooting a basket, they don't know that you cut off that little piece there. It's a little piece at the end, like a, 5-foot piece or something.
Right. Okay.
I could do it, but that's why we went for a variance, so.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Punch, any more comments about where it's located and the trees and such?
No,
No.
I mean,
I'm going to think about a few things.
would it be possible to cut that section, then add a little bit more asphalt on the inside piece and then kind of shifts it over?
I
And
believe I remember right. Hoop is on that side, isn't it?
the
No,
hoop is on the
It's on
driveway
the street
side.
side.
Tree side, is it?
The
I
driveway.
You
forgot. I was down there a month ago.
Lisa, what I would say about that is that, you're going to wind up with something that looks like a trapezoid at that point. It would be like an oddball basketball court.
It would
It's
be.
just important to bring it up and have a discussion about it.
Absolutely.
Reason through it.
And there are a lot of odd-shaped basketball courts on Shelter Island. But not all of them are rectangular and perfect size courts.
Well, that's why I'm undefeated when Matatuck plays Shelter.
Exactly.
Does any other board members have any questions for the applicant?
No.
Lynn,
No,
Bill,
this time.
nothing further? Okay, does the applicant have anything else they would like to add?
No,
Okay,
we love Shelter Island. I've been coming to Shelter Island since 1967. My father came here and we caught fish by the bushel. And it was so much fish and so much beautiful. We love Shelter Island. Love it.
absolutely. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we will close the hearing except for written correspondence until, I don't have a calendar in front of me. When do we,
Wednesday, July 20th is the next work session, and the next hearing is July 27th.
Until July 13th, Lisa.
13th, thank you. Written correspondence until July 13th. And that's all of our scheduled business for this meeting.
And just so you know, the written comment period till July 13th, you may yourself submit written comment as well, up until July 13th, or any of your neighbors or anybody. So the record is still open until the 13th.
Okay. So we can close the meeting. Do I have a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion, close the meeting.
Second?
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Close the meeting at 7:55.
Wait a minute.
What?